Hey y'all, iRick Guy here, back again with another car review here on youtube.com/iRick Guy. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already and ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. But today we're looking at the brand new, it's got probably about 40 miles, maybe 80 miles on it now, but the 2021 Jetta SEL, Sierra Echo Llama. So we're going to go into this vehicle in depth. I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, nothing sugar-coated. There's no reason to sugarcoat it. We're going to do a complete walk around of the vehicle. Just so you know, this particular trim level, it's the next to the top. They have an SEL Premium, which I think may add real leather. This has like a leatherette type material, which I don't care. It looks good, it feels good, and you know. But we're going to go into it in depth. I'm going to show you all the inside, the bells and whistles, the electronics, and just kind of talk about my driving experience. So to give you a background of my VAG, Volkswagen Audi group. So my VAG experience so far, I've had the Volkswagen Passat. Check out my video on that. I've had the Audi A3. Check out my video on that. I've had the Audi A4. Check out my video on that. And now I've got the VW Jetta SEL. Now, kind of give you a history as to why did I go from an Audi A4, 2020 Audi A4 to a 2021 Jetta SEL? Well, there are a few reasons. These market conditions right now, dude, are nuts. So I was essentially able to sell it was just a base model Audi A4 Premium. I was able to essentially sell it after 2 years, approximately 2 years of ownership, for basically what I paid for it new, because I'm a stiff negotiator. So it was a no-brainer, you know, get out of a used car, get into something new that's more economical. But part of my review will be the guy that's like, ooh, that's an Audi guy, he's snobby. You know, kind of coming from that perspective, stepping down to the Jetta SEL, but is it really a step down? And if so, what are the areas where I feel like I've made compromises? I mean, obviously my payment for this is great. Dude, I mean, I locked in an awesome interest rate, but this isn't a financial video. This is just talking about, well, I will say the financial from the perspective of this is a lot less expensive vehicle than the Audi A4. But let's take this camera. Let me put this little fuzzy-wuzzy microphone in the back seat, and I'm going to take this camera off the tripod, and we're going to walk through this, nothing sugar-coated. We're going to walk through the entire. So again, being part of VAG, Volkswagen Audi group, you're going to see a lot of similarities, and that's something, you know, having owned the cars that I just mentioned. This is my second VW, and I've had two Audis. You know, what are the similar traits and all of that. So, you know, the body language, you're going to see the design language in the exterior. You're going to see a lot of stuff that says, oh man, that's a VAG, you know, that's a Volkswagen Audi group vehicle. So you're going to see that for sure. Now let's get down here. Let's get some really good shots here. Now I'm taking y'all on the inside. We're going to look at this whole thing. The grille looks nice. You got the VW logo. Got the nice headlights, you got the nice, I guess you call it the fascia, or the fascia. Looks good, looks, you know, not too aggressive, not too sedan-like. I mean, it's you know, we'll talk about the handling here in a minute, but it's a sporty looking car. And when you get inside, you're gonna see some creature comforts. Now, one thing that's cool about this, and I like these wheels. Now, you know, you could obviously probably get different wheels. I think they look good. I like the use of black and like a silver type color. And now these particular wheels, in case you're wondering, these are 205, 55, R17, as you can see there. These are obviously not run flats. These wheels, and again, just got this vehicle, probably got under 100 miles on it so far, but these wheels probably will have better tire life than my Audi. I know at about, as I got rid of my 2020 Audi A4 at about 14,000 miles on it, and those tires on that Audi A4 were already needing a little bit of love. I may have had a couple thousand more miles on it, but I drive like a crazy person. Safely, of course. It's got the SEL badge, Sierra, Echo, Llama. That's the llama sound, y'all. And then there's some small details on this. You know, number one, this being the SEL, you know, with a key in my pocket, you can touch it and unlock it. So very similar. But unlike the Audi A4, if I touched and locked the rear door, you know, say I need to shove something in the rear, I would have to unlock the front first and then push the unlock to be able to unlock the back. So there's a few subtle things like that I'm going to point out, you know, in comparison to Audi. And then right there, it's got in the black, it says Volkswagen. I think that looks kind of cool. The mirrors are nice, and we'll cover technology when we step inside this vehicle. But it's got the you see, it's got all kinds of safety features, driver convenience features. Looking at the top of this 2021 Jetta SEL, you can see it's got a nice sunroof. Again, we're going to get inside this sucker, and we're just going to put our virtual hands over everything. And again, the wheels in the back, in case you're wondering, are they staggered? The back is 205/55 R17. 205/55 R17. And that's important to know, because if you're like me and you like to nickel and dime everybody for everything, you probably have found that if you buy 4 tires versus 2, typically you can haggle and get better deals versus 2 and 2. A lot of sports cars, they have staggered. The rears and the front don't match. But in this case, the rear and the front matches. Oh, what do we have here, man? What's that hanging out of the trunk? What is that? What is that? What is that hanging out of the trunk? Interesting. Well, we'll go in the trunk here in a little bit. I don't know what's going on there. But you can see the rear of this vehicle, very nice design. Again, if you're familiar with the VAG, Volkswagen Audi group, you know that this design language on the rear end is very similar. You look down here at the back bumper, very nice. You know, Volkswagen has really improved the cosmetic appearance of the Jetta to look more upmarket. And I mean, these things are affordably priced on today's market. I mean, they are. And obviously this one, actually I bought it because at the time of filming this video, February of 2022, vehicles are hard to find, especially new vehicles. So I was actually stalking several car lots and looking in their rear for cars that were still wrapped up. And this one was in the shrink wrap. They had it and a few others. And I just went in there and I said, hey, I want to buy that Jetta. Which trim levels do you have? And I found my experience looking at the various trim levels was, what am I trying to say? It was, let's see, let's put this back on here, and I'm gonna get face on camera, and then I'm gonna enter the vehicle with y'all. But I found that with the various trim levels, and that's what we're about to explore inside, what's the difference on the interior from say the base, which I think is the S, because they've got the base, and then they've got the kind of middle ground, which I think is the SE, and then they've got the SEL, Sierra, Echo, Llama, which is this one, and then they've got an SEL Premium, which I think adds real leather and maybe some other things, stuff I didn't care about. But the price differences among S, SE, and SEL, in my opinion, it would have been hard, especially if you've got a good credit rating and interest rates are still low. It would be hard to go with the lowest trim or the middle trim, because if you sell or trade in the future, which historically I sell and trade, typically I'd keep a vehicle longer than I did because of market conditions. That's why I sold the Audi A4, the 2020 Audi A4 so quickly. But typically I'd at least keep them for a few years. But when you get ready to sell or trade, this Volkswagen, again, the VAG, Volkswagen Audi group, it's easy to get them mixed up. But This Jetta SEL 2021, you know, looking at the price difference among the three trims, it was a no-brainer to go with this. Now, I think the SEL Premium would have been a stretch, just because the SEL Premium, I don't necessarily need that much of a price difference. I don't care for the real leather. I don't care for this other stuff. So, you know, with that being said, it, you know, this particular trim level made sense. It was just the good trim level that I felt was the best bang for the buck. So, you know, you may feel differently, but take into consideration, if you do sell or trade, that someone on the buying end, whether it's a private party or a dealership, if you've got the bells and the whistles, that it's probably it's going to be more enticing. Man, there was an exotic sports car that just went by. Did y'all hear that? We're attracting them out here, man, with this filming. That was cool. You heard that rumble through my mic, I bet. But yeah, the difference, if you've got good credit and you look at, say, a 72-month term or whatever, you're probably going to see that the monthly payment difference among S, SE, and SEL is probably negligible. So you might want to consider going with the SEL trim if you can find one. Again, vehicles are hard to find right now, but you might want to consider going with it just for the possibility of being able to trade or resell more easily in the future, because people want tech. And speaking of tech, y'all, we're going to hop in this sucker and we're going to explore all of the technology that this particular vehicle brings to the table here. So I'm using my wireless mic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step closer to the vehicle, and then that way I'm getting the premium audio so that your listening experience isn't altered, even though I'm filming with the other camera. There goes another high-end sports car. Y'all could hear that going through there. So let's see, we're gonna flip this over here. Boom, flip into my phone, man, to my secondary phone. We're still rolling here. Yes, sir. We're gonna get in. Again, like all VAG vehicles, Volkswagen Audi Group, this one is no exception. It is good exterior body language, design language. Now we step in this, that's beeping because actually I left my accessories running. Ooh, hope I didn't run my battery down, y'all. Oh yes, yes. So you sit in here, you sit in this. I've got this particular one has the, let me crank it up here. Vroom, 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 vroom. So this particular one has the digital cockpit. Now, you can see here it's digital, and you can see your fuel economy. This sucker, man, and see I got 99 miles on it now. I wasn't lying. I got under 100. But this sucker, I've seen it already just around town, man. Over 40 miles per gallon. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. And especially with these tires, if I get 50,000 miles or more, that's gonna be fantastic. But yeah, so the digital, this is the SEL, so it's got the digital instrument cluster. Check out my other video where I filmed this at night, and you can see it's got ambient lighting there across here. And as you change the ambient lighting colors, these colors in the digital dash, y'all, those will also change. It's very cool. The cabin, the interior of this, although, you know, coming from another VAG, Volkswagen Audi Group, the Audi A4 2020, these materials don't feel as premium as the Audi, but they feel very premium. This of course, you can see up close, this is the leatherette. This is, if you stepped up a level, I think it's the SEL Premium. I think it may add the real leather and maybe some other stuff. But this feels really good. It looks like leather. It kind of actually smells like leather. The instrumentation panel here, you got your dual climate control. You can sync it up. That's what I did. I got it on 72 degrees. This has heated front seat for the driver, heated front seat for the passenger, and also when you turn the driver's heated seat on, and I didn't have this with my 2020 Audi A4, it heats up the steering wheel, so the steering wheel gets warm. So it's super nice. that is that was an unexpectedly cool feature. And not to mention, and we're going to look at the rear here in a minute, but in the rear, I've got heated seats as well. So that was something I didn't have in the 2020 Audi. This uses USB-C as in Charlie. It's got 2 USB-C ports, and looky here, what is that? That, my friend, is a wireless charging mat. So what I can do, I'm using my iPhone, but it should work with other phones that support wireless charging. I stick my phone on that mat, and when I stick my phone on that mat, it will charge wirelessly, so I don't have to fumble with using any USB-C cables. I just charge it using the mat. So convenient. And likewise, if you don't need to charge it, you could have your phone in the your pocket. Now let me make sure I don't get any. Oh, when you turn this on, you get a little digital clock here. Okay, my video kind of heated up my phone, so I had to start another recording. But looking at the digital clock here, so that's one option for your screen when you turn on your little infotainment. But if you push it again, you can get into Apple CarPlay. Now, what makes Apple CarPlay on this better than my other Vag vehicle, the 2020 Audi A4, is that this Apple, oh, and look at this. When I open the door, it has an icon that says, "Caution, engine is running." And then it'll flash up this little graphic, the door's open. It shows which door. That's really cool. So, you know, very, very technologically advanced this vehicle is. So you've got Apple CarPlay, but this is wireless CarPlay. So I can get into the car now that I paired it, and I could have my phone in my pocket, I could have it in my shirt pocket, I could have it on the seat, I could have it wherever. And this Apple wireless CarPlay goes, and I don't have to physically tether the phone to to one of the USB-C ports like I did with my Audi 2020 A4. So wireless Apple CarPlay is a huge convenience. This particular thing does have HomeLink. You know, right there you can see the buttons for garage door opener. Check out my separate garage door. Check out my separate video where I show, where I demonstrate using the programming the garage door opener, how to program the garage door opener in a 2021 Jetta SEL. And up here I got my sunglasses. Actually, they disappeared. Oh, my cheap sunglasses on my head, man. Yep. And then you got SOS, you got I, you got maintenance. You got the little buttons here where you control the interior lighting. Now the actual ambient lighting, if you go into the menu system, and again, check out my separate video where I demonstrate this at night because you can really see it. But you can go into ambient lighting, and then you can choose among these various color options. And it'll change the color on your dash. It'll change, you know, the ambient lighting. Curiously enough, though, as you'll see in that video, they didn't include the door ambient lighting in on the 2 rear doors. I thought that was kind of an oversight. Why just do it in the front? Small gripe. But check out my separate video where I demonstrate that at night. You can really see it's a very cool feature. I know it's just colored lights in the car, but it's so cool. So the infotainment just gets, it gets even better, man. I mean, this thing, you can, let's see, let me get to the sound here. So this has Beats, this 2021 Jetta SEL has Beats audio. So these are premium speakers, man. And you can go into this and you can adjust, it's the equalizer. You can adjust your treble, your mid, your bass, your subwoofer. And see, they're Beats speakers, man. Beats by Dr. Dre. At least Dr. Dre used to own Beats. Did he sell it to Apple? Tell me below. I don't know. I know Dr. Dre, and Dr. Dre's the man. So Dr. Dre had some involvement with the development of this in-car audio system, Beats Audio. So very, very, very nice. And we can obsess. And notice how quiet the car is. It's running right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. I want to conserve fuel. So we're going to turn it off. So I've told you about the infotainment. Now what I didn't tell you about the infotainment, look at that. Well, that's average fuel economy because I just cranked it up and I didn't actually drive. So sitting there idle, it was 20.2 to, again, I've seen over 40 miles per gallon from this so far, and I've only put 99 miles on it. So it'll be interesting to see as I get out on the highways and stuff how it performs there. But yeah, the infotainment is top notch. And to add to the infotainment, and I'm going to share some separate videos and dive into more depth on this, but you can install the Car-Net app, and through the Car-Net app, you can start your car remotely if you pair it. You can check your fuel level. You can lock and unlock your doors. You can find your vehicle. That's just an extension of the cool factor. And I've even paired that with Amazon Alexa. So I can wake up and tell Alexa, I can be like, hey, Alexa, open Car-Net. And she'll be like, okay. And she'll say, Car-Net instead of Car-Net. And then Car-Net comes up and you say, Alexa, start my VW. And it'll say, enter your passcode. So you got to give them a 4-digit code, and then boom, your car starts in the driveway, man. It's nuts. So that is really cool tech. From a technological perspective, this has blown away my 2020 Audi A4 base. I mean, when I say base, I mean base model. The technology in this thing is outstanding. And then of course you got your steering wheel with own steering wheel controls. Feels very nice. There's your virtual cockpit off. And then over here, you got your little release for your fuel, and then your trunk. Speaking of the trunk, we're going to look in the trunk, but let's go in the rear seats first. Before we go in the rear seats, you know, you got park, reverse, you got neutral, you got drive, and you can kick it back and go into sport. Not that I don't think sport in this thing really does anything, man. It did in the Audi, but, you know. And then this right here is a little 12-volt port if you want to stick one of those. Interesting they even included that. I kind of wish they hadn't, because it just distracts from the aesthetic of the center console. In the center console, I got this cheap expired Spindrift, because like my wife bought a bunch of them and she never drank them, and they were, you know, it's expired date. Oh, actually, this one hasn't expired. It expires 3/2 of 2022, but the other ones had, and I'm just like, hey, may I drink your expired beverages? And she said yes, so I did. And then this is just standard H2O. And then down there, you've got the cup holders. A difference between the other VAG vehicle, Volkswagen Audi group, is that this doesn't have the removable bottom tray. Like on my 2020 Audi A4, it had a little plastic piece there I could pull out and, you know, throw in the sink and wash it. And likewise, see, none of these have that. So that's just something to be aware of, not a complaint. Just a difference. I mean, this is a completely different price point for a vehicle. And then in the center console, you also have a charging port back there in the back, and a decent sized cavity for miscellaneous junk. So, you know, nothing to really show off there. The mats, it does have rubber mats. Rubber mats. So I've got rubber mats in the front, and we're going to step into the rear here. Step into the rear here. There's my rubber mat in the front. And we're going to step in here in the rear. And you can see it's got a nice little compartment in the door, and I got my little fuzzy microphone here. Hey, fuzzy mic. Hello. How are you doing? Good to see you. My fuzzy wuzzy mic. Back here, you got sufficient leg room. I'm 6'2". I'm a little bit chubby. Trying to work on that, but it takes time, man. No behind seat storage on this seat, but on this seat, actually you do. You got a slot. You could put you some confidential documentation back there. And you know, looking from here, you can see it's a nice, feels airy, feels spacious for such a compact vehicle. I mean, this legroom is, and again, I've got my seat in my driver's position, and I'm 6'2", so I'm sitting behind a tall driver, and I've got plenty of room. This is comfortable. You got the rubber mats. You got the rubber mats. And then over here, you've got, this is a nice touch. You've got a heated seat on the passengers, on this passenger behind the driver, and a heated seat over there. That is unexpected, especially a vehicle at this price point. And then you got a little, I guess that's a speaker or tweeter in the door. See? You got that. And now in the center console, you got cup holders. And again, these cup holders do not have the rubber inserts like you get in the, you know, in some of the Audis. So if you spill something in here, you know, you know, never drink and drive, but if you got somebody that's sitting in a parked car in your back seat drinking and they spill their drink, you'd have to get like a moist towelette and clean that out. So, but yeah, nothing too crazy about this. No other compartment in it. It's just those cup holders. So that's nice. That's there. This particular middle seat thing here, middle headrest. Actually, I'm going to push it down. So it pushes down, but does it fold down completely? I mean, that's enough. It doesn't get in my line of sight. And then back here, you just kind of got like a hard plasticky type piece. Whereas in an Audi, you would probably have like, I think it's carpeted. You know, it looks more refined, man. It looks more snobby. Curiously enough, these door handles look exactly like what's on the Audi. A lot of this you're going to find looks pretty much exactly like what's on the Audi. And it does have a sunroof. It's a big sunroof. Let's get into the trunk, man. Let's get into the trunk. So, yeah, looking at the trunk, looking at the rear of the vehicle. Let's see if this will do the little kicky thing, you know, where you put your foot through there. It's because I got the back door open. I don't know. Be interesting to see if it has that little kicky thing. So you just push a button up here, push a button in the, or actually, let's not push that button. Let's see if the remote's got a button. Yeah, so the remote has a trunk. There goes the trunk. Our trunk is open. Yes, sir. The trunk is open. Okay, so by the way, this is the remote control. It's got trunk open. You can lock and then press this 2 times to remotely start, and you've got the unlock. But like I said, you can remotely start and stop using the app, the Car-Net app as well. And like I said, I'm going to do a separate video to demonstrate that stuff. Let's see, we've got miscellaneous stuff back here. When I bought this, they gave me a roadside assistance kit. And then they also gave me a first aid kit. And they also gave me this, which I'm going to do in a separate video. Apparently these little cube things are some sort of space management solution that you can, here's what it says. It says, Volkswagen Cargo Management System. So, I'm going to take a look at that in a separate video. Plenty of space back here, man, and I want to show you something. If you're going on a road trip or something and you want more space, see these little handles? Doing, doing, and then when you do that, you go back into the rear here, these seats fold down. Whoo-hoo! That seat folds. And also, let me get my little fuzzy wuzzy mic. Fuzzy wuzzy mic, Mike the fuzzy wuzzy. And then I can fold this seat down. Boom. Carpeted back, very nice. You know, you got, maybe you're skiing, maybe you're just hauling something tall, man. Look at that, plenty of space. So for such a compact vehicle, to be able to have all this versatility with something that can potentially get over 40 miles per gallon, from my observations, I mean, you're stepping into a very good deal. And, you know, again, what prompted me to get this was, well, my Audi used was selling pretty much for what I paid for it 2 years ago. So I'm a mathematical guy. Why would I pass up on an opportunity like that? And again, you can lock and unlock pushing this if your key's in your pocket. But again, it doesn't have that on the back doors. So, yeah, this is the 2021 VW Jetta SEL trim. Tell me what you think within the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe. And when you do, ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. And if there's other aspects of this vehicle that you want me to review, just ask. But at the time of filming this, I've already got the video up for the, you know, for the ambient lighting. Be sure to check that one out. That is really cool. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, Captain Irix Guy here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/Irix Guy. And ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.